Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown and our first Albums I Missed video of 2022. I know, a little earlier than expected. Normally we would wait until the very end of the month to crank one of these bad boys out, but here's the thing. February is fucking stacked, overflowing with so much exciting new music. Meanwhile, January has come to a screeching fucking halt. And I've also got some pretty exciting dinner plans that I don't plan on canceling, so, we're gonna move the fuck on and do an Albums I Missed video instead. I mean, hey, purely hypothetically, if there were at least one more big album coming out, I don't know, this weekend, today even, maybe we would talk about that. Why not? Hypothetically, but there isn't. So instead, let's just talk about all the albums that I missed in January. Oh, hi, Chompy. Hi, buddy. What's up? What's on your mind? What do you do? Just one moment, folks. What's on your mind, buddy? What's on your mind? What? You're telling me there is at least one more semi-big album coming out this very weekend, today, in fact? And you're telling me we should actually do a full-on album review? Are you sure? Because I've already done the Albums I Missed intro. I can just throw it in, it's no big deal. Plus, I have those dinner plans. Fine, we can reschedule with the president some other fucking time. I was about to become the secretary of partying the fuck down, but I guess that doesn't matter, because Last 10 Seconds of Life have a brand new album. I've never given a shit about the Last 10 Seconds of Life, if we're being brutally honest. They've got talent, they've got enthusiasm, and some semi-gnarly riffs to boot, but nothing to the extent of many of their deathcore peers. They've never released anything that I would score above like a 3 out of 5. And as such, I've been more than happy to just kind of appreciate and respect them from afar. But now I don't think I can do that anymore because they're signed to Unique Leader Records, and they're going on tour with Cattle Decapitation and Creeping Death, and they've got like thousands and thousands and thousands of followers across multiple social media platforms. So yeah, I can't avoid them. They're kind of a big deal now. So here we are. Yippee! I'm never gonna be able to rebook that dinner. I've had to reschedule it like fucking twice already. Fucking hell! Alright, folks, no more jokes, no more bullshit, no more nonsense, no more fucking whatever the fuck. Let's cut straight to the chase. Self-titled album from Last 10 Seconds of Life is mad fucking boring. This self-titled album is ultimately, despite its best efforts and intentions, an incredibly derivative, cookie-cutter, formulaic record to the point of being an absolute chore to listen to. Filled with some of the most generic and ineffective ham-fisted breakdowns I've ever heard. The production is stale. There are some small twists and turns here and there, but nothing so crazy or unexpected or wild or imaginative that it really gives any new life to any of this material. You do get some tracks like Burr for the Butcher and Vampire a Blood Ballad, which try to bring in some clean vocals, the former of which does it quite subtly, almost reminiscent of some of the eerier cleans I would expect from like early Deftones. The latter is a little bit more over the top and dramatic and, in my opinion, jarring. On the track The Sabbath, there's a dialogue sample from There Will Be Blood and a pretty melodic kind of modern death metal guitar solo, and across the record there are plenty of like brutal death metal-esque percussive beatdowns that are objectively pretty fucking heavy. But that's kind of it, and that really only covers about 5% of the actual record. The other 95% of this record is dedicated to some of the most bland and uninspired riffs and breakdowns I think I've heard on a deathcore record in quite some time. It's the same guitar tone, the same double bass and China cymbals, the same completely incomprehensible vocals for like an entire hour. Like, honestly, the last time I heard this much constant belching and chugging, I was at a fucking college party. And honestly, it just makes for such a tiresome and repetitive experience. On my first playthrough, by the end of the 4th track, I was this close to just turning the album off and moving on to something else. Anything else. Now, I did stick with it, and I will concede that tracks like Hate What You Love and the aforementioned Vampire Blood Ballad, did inject this with a little bit of enthusiasm, even if ever so briefly. But after that, it was back to business as usual, and now there were also a bunch of completely pointless instrumentals that just made the record longer and fattier and stupider than it needed to be. And as a result of that, on my second playthrough, when we got to the fourth track again, I did straight up just turn it off. I kind of went, you know what? Fuck it. We're done here. There's literally nothing more I need to know about this album. Honestly, I'm going with a 1.5 out of 5 on this. I kind of don't want to, because I really don't think it's, like, incompetent or offensive or anything like that, but what other score can I possibly give this? I mean, I was just so bored from start to finish by this thing. If the kindest thing I can say about this is that it isn't totally incompetent, then clearly it's just not that great of a fucking record. Honestly. Yes, it's brutal. Yes, it's intense. Yes, there's a lot of physical muscle. And yes, Last 10 Seconds of Life are very proud of that physical muscle, because they flex it all the fucking time. But there's very little creative muscle. Like, that, nothing. This? Fuck yeah. But here, nothing. I like, what the fuck, dude? And for me, the physical muscle is as important as the creative muscle. So while you might be delighted to know that it's brutal and intense, I'm just kind of sitting here like, but is it good? Is it, like, different? The reality is, Last 10 Seconds of Life, even at their most imaginative, aren't neither. Like, believe me, folks, my DMs get flooded every single day with slam and porno grind EPs and demos. I don't need to look far for objectively brutal shit. And in a month filled with so much deathcore from the likes of Fit for an Autopsy, Shadow of Intent, Enterprise Earth, Worm Shepherd, and even from like metalcore and hardcore bands like Underoath and Comeback Kid, that is equal parts brutal and ambitious, why on earth would you settle for something as boring and as simple and as flavorless as this self-titled album from Last 10 Seconds of Life? Why? Fucking why? 1.5 out of 5, it's an absolute fucking bore. Shame on you, Chompy, for reminding me of this album and making me do this and making me cancel my fucking dinner plans. Fuck you. I mean, I love you. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. But also, low-key, fuck you. Like, just a little bit. Just a little fucking bit. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be, so what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? Thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.